Howdy, and welcome to Book Your Give Here. We're Travel That Gives. I'm Lulu Lima, your chief travel guru. I hope this episode of Dream Now Travel Later inspires you to travel, and I invite you to give us the opportunity to help plan your next memorable trip. So grab your popcorn and enjoy.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back. I can't wait to tell you about what we're going to be talking about today. Our neighbor to the north, Canada, and we have an amazing province, Saskatchewan, and it is truly a hidden gem where you're going to find so many amazing little pieces of culture and love and just I just can't tell you anymore because otherwise I'm going to give out the entire presentation. Heidi here is with me today, and she is going to really take over and tell us all about this hidden gem. So without further ado, take it away.
Thanks, Lulu. Thanks so much for having us. Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to tell you about my home province. And without further ado, let's get started. So the picture that you see here, quite often Saskatchewan, we are known for agriculture. We're actually the world's largest exporter of things like peas, lentils, canola, wheat, flaxseed. There's about 7 oats. And so a lot of people think of us as being primarily agriculture, of which we are, but we have so much to offer. The next slide has just a few images to get you thinking of what else there is to do in Saskatchewan. It's a provincial park, which we share with Alberta. And that showed the highest point in elevation between Labrador and the Rockies. Here is a picture of our northern portion of the province, where we have 100,000 lakes and rivers for you.
100,000 lakes?
It's crazy.
My God, right? That's amazing.
It's a lot of water. And then the next image shows Grasslands National Park, which is one of 2 of our national parks. And this one preserves the prairie grassland that once covered all of Saskatchewan, and with development it was lost. So this is like a step back in time when you come to Grasslands National Park.
How awesome is that? Where you can, I mean, literally you can drive, or I shouldn't say drive, you can ride your heart out and check out all of these plains and just getting to know all of this nature. I mean,
it's so amazing. And we're just, we have a lot to offer here in Saskatchewan. And the quote there really just sums it up really nicely, that rushing through Saskatchewan would only just have you miss a lot of what we have to offer. So I invite you to get off the beaten path and come explore a province that might be a little lesser known than others in our wonderful country. So to get to
Saskatchewan, and this is awesome, great, because this map I'm loving right now. We're gonna, you guys can see you're just north of Montana or North Dakota. I realize the driving borders are closed, the air borders are open, and there is some temporary quarantining, but COVID, once it all moves out of the way, it'll be a nice, easy opportunity for you guys to really check it out. And I was so excited to learn that you guys have the most sunshine.
Yes, we have such a sunny province, and given all the agriculture, that sun comes in handy. So it's great. Just to let you know, you can drive to Saskatchewan. It would take you from, just an example, Minneapolis. I'll use that as an example because you can also fly from Minneapolis. So just to give you a gauge, it would take you to get to Regina around 12 hours worth of a drive. Or you can fly. Yeah, exactly. Or you can fly through Delta into Saskatoon, and that would take you about 2 hours. So depending on how much time you have, it is easy whether to drive or fly into our province.
That's super awesome. So let's talk about why we're going to come and visit you. I mean, Saskatchewan has so many different things, and we just talked about so much of it. I want to say outdoor lover's paradise.
Well, those options, they can all be true, but today we're going to focus on answer B. So I mentioned we're known for agriculture, but what people don't know is that we're only 1/3 ag. Half is covered by forest, and the remaining 1/8 is water. So it opens it up to a whole bunch of outdoor experiences. So outdoor runners dream, also a lot of urban and other rural experiences to balance that out.
And that's so awesome, right? Because again, you have all those lakes that you have that you really can do, and then you've got not only your outdoor paradises as we're talking about, but then you've got these authentic Western adventures, and I can't wait till we talk about those. But even the dark skies, and so for you guys who are all into learning as using travel as a living classroom like me, you're going to learn so much. And for you guys who are homeschooling, really, let's take the kids out, stop having them look through a textbook, and let them live life. And what an amazing place to do so.
Absolutely, Lulu. And the dark sky point, as a province, we are actually not much. Well, Texas is a bit bigger than what Saskatchewan is, but the population is vastly different. So
Yeah.
we have 1.2 million people versus Texas has 29 million.
Yeah.
So that type of size. So in terms of light pollution, we have our larger centers certainly, but you're not dealing with the large urban that takes over kind of that sky. And we have a massive one. So to have these pockets of complete darkness, it's really special for the dark skies. And you can imagine the world above, how it opens it up.
Yeah,
So-
no, absolutely. And so because you have so much area and so much land, you've got so many parks here. Obviously, two of them are national, but you're on the provincial side. What are we looking at? 22?
The answer is actually B.
36. Look at that. I was under. Oh my God. Guys, look, we're learning together how much of this is vast land that you have access to. And again, because the population is only a small percentage of what we have here, you're going to have so much area for social distancing. You're going to find yourself just amazing space. I feel the wellness running through.
I would definitely recommend, if you're wanting to come for a camping experience, to book in advance. And I know Lulu can help you with that.
Yeah.
And also, in addition to the provincial and national parks, we have 100 regional parks. So there is plenty of room for everybody.
That's awesome. And then, of course, we have that Western experience we were talking about. Now,
Yeah.
I know because of COVID and everything else, we've got just a handful, or I should say just a couple of properties, ranches that are ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, this is by far my favorite type of experience for the province. I am a horse riding gal and I love it. So to answer your question, we have 2 ranches that are ready to welcome guests. The first is Risa Ranch, and they're located in the southwest portion of the province, close to Florida.
And it's got so many activities that you can do. I mean, just these pictures alone, I don't think it does it justice. But
exactly. There's so much space. It's also, for those looking to disconnect a bit, it is actually really good. Cell service in this particular ranch isn't great, which has been a blessing actually to a lot of families, because they say finally we get to chat with our children instead of having them off on their own looking at the screen. So a lot of families enjoy this place. It is, in addition to horseback riding, there's ton of other things you can do in the area: hiking, ATV tours. It's just a really nice place to reconnect with family.
Listen, you can zip line, and that's an amazing thing because you get to see from up above. You can fly your own way, and put your GoPro on and record it as you go. So when you watch it, you can go, "Oh my God, look at all of this!" And I got to experience that. So, so super amazing. And as we talk about food, Maple Creek, you're calling a lunch stop. I'm saying, let's not just do lunch. Let's have breakfast and dinner too.
And I'll tell you, Maple Creek, so this is an hour and a half from the ranch I was just showing you. So you could stay at the ranch and have a nice day trip. If you want a break from the ranch, come to Maple Creek. And like Lulu said, grab yourself a breakfast. The Daily Grind makes the best specialty coffees around.
Ah,
And you have to stop into Cowtown Toys and Candy. This, Lulu, if you can imagine, is a two-story toy store.
oh my
So
God.
it is so cool. It has puzzles and all sorts of toys back from when I was little. And so I'm just as excited to go there as my kids are. Different old fashioned candies. And it's just so neat. And there's a bookstore right next door as well. So it's a great spot to reload on maybe some souvenirs or great activities for the kids to keep them busy on the road while you're driving.
And that's super awesome, right? Because it's for kids for all ages.
It
So
truly is.
yeah, so now we're going to move over to Fort Walsh, which is your National Historic Site, and
Yep.
and that's really, you're going to have a lot of great, again, living classroom opportunities here and things like that, where you're going to want to learn, you're going to want to experience some of this stuff.
Yes, and the fact that again, this is just 30 minutes out of Maple Creek. So again, a nice extension to your ranch stay. Or if you're staying at the Cypress Hills Interprovincial Park, again, a nice little day trip. And you can easily spend several hours at Fort Walsh, which has history dating back to 1870, when it was the first fort for what was then called the Northwest Mounted Police. So again, a lot of history on the starting of the force and the keeping of law and order back in the day. And soon we'll be talking about Regina, and it's a really great connection and a nice addition to your itinerary to include this area, and then continue on to Regina, where again you learn more about the RCMP and again the history and how it all ties together.
That's awesome. But before we get to Regina, we do need to have a little bit of goat yoga. Now, this is the new popular trendy yoga style. And so you've got your mountain goats here already keeping order, so to speak, while you are doing yourself justice and giving yourself that breathing space. You're already in a wonderful area, again, for that wellness. And so here's, a great opportunity to just connect with nature.
So true. And the goats are so playful and so fun. So it's goat therapy, physical therapy, all combined. It's all good. And then what's so great too is that they also make homemade baking and again coffees. So it's a great way to wind down after your yoga. It's perfect.
Yeah, that is super awesome. So now we're kind of moving along and we're going to go visit another ranch. And so if we were to have an itinerary being created and you guys were doing a little bit of dude ranching kind of going through, you would have stayed at the first ranch and then you would have moved on to the second ranch. And so obviously just again, having different adventures, different opportunities for you guys to be able to experience just an amazing land.
Exactly. The landscape is totally different. And the second ranch, Laurietta, is more focused on riding. And so the other one is really good for families or younger families or those just wanting to incorporate a bit of riding into their stay. This one, longer riding periods of time, and then it's more of a working ranch, a working cattle ranch. And the owner, George Gaber, actually originated from Germany, and he came to Saskatchewan on vacation, loved the land, and he now calls it home more than 25 years later. So it's
super awesome.
Definitely so nice, peaceful, lots of room again, and it's very popular.
That's super awesome. So obviously your area has so much to offer. And I love this little question kind of in terms of the quote that can be found on your license plate. Well, I think that every one of these is relevant to you. So, but how could you fit that all on one plate?
You actually can pick. So you just pick the plate that best suits you or what you want to have represent you on your vehicle. So, but
how awesome.
Although D is truly the answer, we really do hang our hat on the living skies. As I mentioned, the Dark Sky Preserve, it's just as active during the day, especially during thunderstorms or during sunsets or sunrises. The color is just phenomenal. pinks and blues and peaches. It's just so beautiful. So we call it living skies because there's life up there just as much as there is on the ground. So it's really a cool place.
I love it. I'm already in love. So I'm already putting my itinerary together of how much sky I need to see and enjoy, right? So we're looking at the Grasslands National Park now, where you have amazing hiking opportunities. You can see the bison, you can see a lot of nature. And so again, focusing on that travel as a living classroom concept, where this is truly a science class right at your fingertips. And it's just neat.
Yes, and that Parks Canada, so they're part of the national park. They're responsible for them, and they have a great deal of programming, basically from May long weekend until September long weekend. And so through these programs, you can see things like the dark sky, and they'll bring out these. They have astronomy nights where they'll bring out these huge telescopes, and you can see planets like Saturn, which is so cool to actually see the ring around it and these stars, and you can see the Milky Way. And they have other types of programs that reflect the care of the bison and what they do with them. It's an animal.
Yeah, you've got your morning and your evening all wrapped up. And you're just at one of the parks. It's not even like you've gone to all of them, but you're seeing all of this amazing stuff. Truly living the science.
Absolutely, yeah.
I can't emphasize this enough to you guys who are viewing. Living science. This is stuff that you don't need to learn in a textbook. You can go and experience. And this is right just north of us. Heidi, I am so in love right now. You have no idea. So let's talk about what else is unique to Saskatchewan, because I mean, there's so much.
There is. And so I would encourage you to press the button one more time, and there's the answer. Yay.
We get to see your wonderful folks who serve and protect and really do Canada justice.
Truly, and we're so grateful for them. And where they train is actually in our capital city in Regina. So it's called the Cradle of the Force. So all people who want to become an RCMP officer come to Regina, have their basic training, and then they get posted throughout Canada. So it's really neat because as a visitor to the province and to the city, this place offers behind the scenes tours via that motorized tram. You get to see how they train, where they train, and it's just neat to be a part of that process. And it's a special place to come learn more about the RCMP that you would have already learned a little bit about at Fort Walsh. So this kind of just closes that gap a bit more, and it's a great learning opportunity. And then while at Regina, why not extend the stay a bit longer and visit the legislative building where all of our policy takes place? And we have a science center and a museum that speaks to other parts of Saskatchewan that you may or may not be able to get to. So it's a great place to come and spend some time following your RCMP tour.
Yeah, absolutely. And so right outside, you've got amazing landmarks. And we were talking about earlier how each kind of town has a different type of landmark. And so Regina has one that is very, very specific. A moose head, is it?
Well, this is Moose Jaw, so 45 minutes west. They have moose, and his name is Mac. He's a great host. So Moose Jaw is a great place. It's actually only a population of 35,000, but during the summer months that swells to around 500,000. So it's an active hub of activity and attractions, and things like the tunnels of Moose Jaw. There's Western Development Museum. There's pictured the Temple Gardens, which has an indoor-outdoor mineral pool that brings mineral water 4,500 feet below the Earth's surface. So it's so nice. And again, that wellness piece, you really feel great soaking in that pool.
So I know we talked about so many different things. Wellness obviously for me is huge. The culture aspect, there's so much culture here as well. So you really have the best of both worlds where you can enjoy all of that. Plus, it's Canada. The people are amazing.
Yeah, and it's small town hospitality, and you're going to get that in Moose Jaw. There's no doubt about that. And then carrying on to Saskatoon, that's a 2 hour and 15-minute drive from Moose Jaw. So a nice another leg to an itinerary. And Saskatoon is our largest city. It's over 310,000 people. So not
310,000 people, that's it? And that's your largest city?
largest, yes.
Wow.
So easy to get around. It's staying right downtown in the city center is where you'd want to be ultimately, because you park your vehicle and you can walk to a lot of places nearby. Saskatoon has grown to be such a hub for breweries and distilleries, restaurants, and being an agricultural province is really a dream for chefs because they have access to everything they need to create this wonderful meal. So it's very fresh and local.
So you've got amazing street food or an amazing beer, amazing activities. What more can you ask for?
And great people to do it with. So it's
exactly.
fantastic.
Oh my God, I'm so excited.
And then newer to Saskatoon is the Reme Modern, which is it's a modern and contemporary museum. And what's unique about it is they have the most comprehensive collection of Picasso lino cuts. So it's really quite unique to see the process of this artistic master. And you'll see final prints, you'll see the prints that they're work in progress, special edition ones. So it's really a unique cultural aspect.
That's awesome. And from there, we're going to go into Manitou Springs. And so I loved learning about the water here. This actually has more salt than the Dead Sea.
It would be like the Dead Sea of Israel. It's exactly so, and it's a shorter trip away.
Guys, if you guys want this wellness, I mean, every time we turn around, there's just more wellness in here. So we really need to start, thinking about how we're going to position this so you can have this great experience. This isn't just a weekend trip. This is really a good 7 to 10 days where you're immersing yourself, and you're finding all of the little nooks and crannies. Again, this entire section is a hidden gem.
Yeah, definitely it is. Yes. So anybody with arthritis or skin conditions, we love Manitou Springs for those healing waters.
How awesome. And now we're coming to your Indigenous culture, because this obviously is almost, I believe you said is on the list for the UNESCO site, correct?
Yes, it's a tentative, they've been tentatively accepted, so nothing official yet, but they're well on their way. They're expanding their programming and really just a focus on the history here. So dating back 6,400 years, if you can believe, there's an active archaeological dig site that people can see, and they have so much history here and so many stories, and it is so important to our Indigenous people, this land. It's located just 5 to 10 minutes outside of Saskatoon. So it can definitely be part of your city experience and stay. You can even stay in a teepee out here. So that could be a break from a motel, and it would give also the kids something to really look forward to in terms of a different accommodation.
I mean, staying in a teepee is an amazing memory. So that's something that you can talk about for the rest of your life.
Definitely. And the other thing that's really cool about this property are the bison. So if you can believe, there used to be 30 million bison that roam this land very freely, and the Indigenous people would use the bison to live off of. Everything they used came from the bison, so they were very important to their sustenance. There came a time, though, when they were almost extinct, down to about 1,000, if you can believe, from 30 million. So only recently, actually December of 2019, Wanuskewin, through their UNESCO bid, was able to raise enough funds to prepare the land again and bring a herd of bison back on.
How awesome.
And to boot, they had out of the 11 bison who came, 4 were bred females. And so we get these little gifts. And in April, there were 3 of the 4, they were born on Earth Day. One was born on Mother's Day, and one was born on, I've got to make sure to get this right, Red Dress Day, which honors missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls. So it just touches your heart, and it's just so exciting.
That's awesome. So, I mean, and all of these specific days have a meaning to your Indigenous people. So it's so connected.
It totally is, and it just it gives me goosebumps.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of these amazing experiences within the Indigenous culture is actually having this Hanwi moon dinner, and I'd love to talk a little bit more about it. I know that it's something fairly new to invite people out and have it so that tourists can enjoy it. So
it happens May to September on the night of a full moon. It starts at dusk. Guests come and go for a 45-minute walk and learn about the science and the culture of the land. Then they are guided to, you can see up to like a top of a hill where it's beautifully set for a dinner. People have bannock over an open fire that they cook themselves. The dinner is lovingly prepared by a Métis chef, who is also the executive chef of Wanuskewin. She forages for ingredients like spruce tips and sunchokes and other items from the land, and she creates this beautiful meal. And then at the conclusion, they have a Dakota storyteller who talks about the stars and just the meaning of the culture. And it's just really, again, a deeper connection to the Indigenous culture itself, the land, the people you're with. It's just a really special evening.
And that's so super awesome. So, I mean, again, so many things to do. We're going to talk about Prince Albert National Park. Again, more water activities, more, all different types of historical pieces. But the one that I enjoy here is people golfing and then just seeing wildlife right at the same spot.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, sometimes it's a delay of game not because of the weather, but because of the wildlife. You've got to wait for them to move aside. So it's very much in nature. There's Wanuskewin, which is a town site where you can do a bit of shopping. There's again Parks Canada programming. Pick up an ice cream. You can watch a movie. You can enjoy the beach. There's just so much for families and couples to do. It's so great there.
It's awesome. And not only that, but again, going back to all of the amazing rivers and lakes you have, you guys have so many water activities. And again, it's so much social distancing. So
Yeah.
you don't really have to worry about people being on top of you.
Not at all, no. And for the canoe enthusiasts, whether you decide to go on your own, you can do that. There's this place called Mississippi that will make sure you have all the routes that you need to know about and make sure they set you out on your way. Or if you want to be guided, there's that opportunity as well. So it just depends on what type of adventure you're looking for, but certainly a lot of water to be able to do that.
Yeah, and that's awesome. So we talked about how much in terms of, rivers and lakes and everything else, but how long is it going to take for somebody to actually run out of new lakes to fish? I'm going to say, I don't know, a number of generations.
And you would be right. It will take you 270 years. So it could definitely be an inspirational task.
So look at that. So all of you fishermen and fisherwomen who are looking to make sure that you get plenty of waters and you don't have to fish the same place twice, this is a place for you.
That's right. And we have fly-in fishing resorts or drive-in. So accessible depending again on how much remoteness you want in your vacation. But you'd be very well looked after and the fish are going to be huge. I can guarantee you that.
So, and a lot of these places, you'll be able, whatever you catch, if you don't release it back, you can, you want to eat it, we can help coordinate to make sure that they'll cook what you catch.
That's right. Yeah, they do fish fries. It's called a shore lunch, and you can't get any fresher than that. That's for sure.
No,
And they'll also look
absolutely.
after any type of permits you need and the tackle as well.
That's super awesome. Heidi, thank you so much for joining me today and sharing all of the beautifulness of your area, your hood, right? So, I mean, it's just amazing, and I'm so in love with everything that you have to offer. So, guys, as you are watching this and listening through this, if there is anything that you want to start planning or whatever, Heidi is the person that I have as my go-to to help make sure that your itineraries are amazing.
Yes, thank you, Lulu, for the opportunity, and we look forward to welcoming all your guests.
Yes, I can't wait for the borders to open so that we can just drive right through. Right now, like I mentioned earlier, we can fly, a little quarantine time, and then we're good to go. So certainly, let's make sure that we put this on our bucket lists. Heidi, again, thank you, and I look forward to the next one.
Sounds great.
Take care, everyone. Namaste.
Namaste.